What's up, guys? How y'all doing today? But baby, if you are Sean Diddy Combs, you have sent a bunch of cease and desist to Netflix because you are trying to get the #1 documentary in the world right now, Diddy, The Reckoning. And let me just say on this documentary, they did their big one. You guys, from the very first 2 minutes, from the very first episode, I was gagged. If you have Netflix, you need to watch it. Aubrey O'Day makes shocking claims. Kina, remember when she was out there defending Diddy? She made shocking claims. Kurt Burrows made certain shocking claims. Misa Hilton made shocking claims. Y'all, listen. This wasn't a hit piece. They literally did bring together the people that knew Diddy the most, and then you get your own opinion. As a matter of fact, you see the twisted groupie mentalities of half of the jurors, and the other half of the real jurors they have are so sick in their head. They literally said, yeah, she got beat up, but she came back. I mean, you can't have the life of luxury and then claim you're a victim. A hater to his heart. You guys, it was actually pretty shocking and disturbing, but let's talk about the way Diddy is desperately trying to get this documentary pulled down. Why? I will tell you why. Because he's worried about his appeal. Now, remember when I said the appeal doesn't decide facts? So whether or not he did it, that's not important. The appeal decides on whether there was a procedural error, whether the judge did something wrong. We all know that Judge Aaron did nothing wrong. He followed everything to the T, literally button to the top. Shirt button, right? He followed everything to the T. This is not appealable. Diddy is still begging for a pardon, but why is he putting down cease and desist? Why does he want this pulled down? Even though I think everybody, probably even Judge Aaron, is watching the documentary. And if you haven't, put your earphones on at work. If you haven't watched this, because it showed his media thing. I can't believe they got that coverage. It shows what a manipulator he was. It shows how he had his fingers in YouTube. It shows all his minions, and it shows the bum A ninjas that just like Diddy felt so comfortable harassing women, threatening women, laughing at women because I guess they used to call women bros, right? Punks, you're about to get beat down or whatever the old asses be listening to. Regardless, it shows the way Diddy played all of them and the way Diddy looks down on them. But let's get back to this. Why is this cease and desist? Because it is bad. No one tells them more. 50 Cent didn't even have to drag him. This was actually a great piece of journalistic integrity. 50 Cent didn't even have to drag him. Diddy dragged himself, being fake, being phony, being manipulative. Even the way, remember when I said early in the trial that Diddy was running the show, telling his lawyers what to do, what to say, how to act? Well, it all came out, right? In any case, it all came out, all right? In any case, at the end of the day, okay? At the end of the day, I think one of the big things that we can take away from this is Diddy wants that cease and desist because he wants it pulled down because he is afraid that this documentary will be seen by judges for the appeal. Now, again, they can't try fact, it's only this. But like even his lawyer said, judges are human, people are human, just like that jury wasn't sequestered. And I wonder if they feel stupid now watching the documentary because they fell for every little trick Diddy did. But more importantly, Diddy sees this documentary as the final nail in his pardon coffin. This is the definitive mic drop. They expect this Netflix documentary to be seen by 900 million people worldwide. 900 million people worldwide. What does that mean? Trump's base, the Republican base, anybody that had any opinion of Diddy, anybody that thought Diddy was even the slightest bit innocent. When you see this documentary, and again, the documentary lets you make up your own mind, but it shows you from the very beginning who he is and what he is. Kurt Burrows said that he saw Diddy slap the dog mess out of his mom and call her a B. Kurt Burrows is the person that helped Diddy found Bad Boys. If you're willing to do that to your own mama, again, we can make an argument that the prosecution dropped the ball and did not prove the case. We can make an argument that they didn't understand the culture. We can make an argument that they got out-strategized when it comes to jury selection. We can make an argument about all that. But one thing we cannot make an argument about is Diddy seems irredeemable. He seems like a piece of shit. And he seems like he has been protected by people that love him, care about him, profit off of him, live off of him. And those are the people, right? Party with them, right? Men and women. He never hit me. This man, according to Kurt Burrows, smacked his own mama and called his mama a B. And this is the same man, and that's what we know. I'm saying one thing, Diddy's family has seen a lot. The women that dated him have seen a lot. But they all stand silently, because at the end of the day, do they really care? Think about it. If I'm getting beat upside the head and being called a B and smacked, what do I care if it happens to you? Now we all getting smacked in the head. Again, misery loves company. But I will say that this documentary is the nail in the coffin for Diddy ever getting pardoned without there being widespread hysteria. Whatever you thought about Diddy, whatever you thought he deserved, whatever, the one thing this documentary proves in my mind, in Diddy's own words, is he is an irredeemable POS. Now, why is that important? Because people are actually saying that Diddy, for whatever reason, thought that if he worked on his own documentary, which is where they apparently got this footage from, because Diddy was going to go blow to blow, I guess, for documentaries with NEXTFLIX, with 50 Cent. But the sources are saying that Diddy thought if he did his own documentary, he could run a rehab image. And again, before you say that myths don't work, Diddy showed a nothing but a bunch of fluff, a stupid video blog in court for 8 minutes. And everybody ate that up because everybody is so eager to believe that he is actually human and not a monster. I'm actually glad this documentary came out. And I'm glad that Diddy, in his own words, without them trying to sell something to someone, without them shoving anything down their throat, I'm glad that in Diddy's own words, he lets you know who he is and what he is. And I'm glad that it looks like Diddy has ruined his own chances to ever get a pardon being accepted by the general public. And I'm glad that finally, the monster that Diddy is, I'm glad that people are starting to see what I saw in court. Again, hate being emotionally manipulated. I hate people talking to me like I'm stupid. It's so obvious the person Diddy is. Once you take off the rose-colored glasses of, wow, Diddy, making of the band. Once you take off the rose-colored glasses of thinking that abuse is just par for the course in the relationship. Once you take off the rose-colored glasses of, oh, Diddy can do something for me, and you actually see who this mofo is in his own words and actions, it is going to chill you to the bone. Also, I'm starting a Diddy Files series where I'm telling you a little bit behind the scenes stuff that was not talked about while Diddy was in court. And a lot of things that were skimmed over and never before seen. You guys, watch the Diddy doc. See why Diddy is in jail, apparently crying right now, because in his own words, he can kiss the public ever accepting that pardon goodbye. Mwah. We love to see it. Anyway, you guys, I'm going to give you guys a little bit more information about the doc in other videos. Let me go. I'm busy watching the doc. It is so good. I'll talk to y'all later.